we'd love to see it.
Yeah, so I want to show you a couple things on the wall. It's basically just flyers, posters, plane tickets, photos, just memories of a lot of my different travels and things.
Some real history being captured for Vancouver and Canadian abroad. Speak on your wall.
Yeah, so we chilling in my office right now, and I filled a lot of it with old flyers and posters and just stuff from over the years, and my cassette tape collection, old Nintendo games, just different stuff like that. So on this wall here first, we got kind of the Monday Night Live shrine. Monday Night Live was a local rap night in Vancouver that went for over 10 years. Kind of handed off from different promoters to different promoter. And I ended up with it for a couple years myself, putting it on, and there was a lot of legendary shows every Monday for 2 years. So that's a lot of those flyers and stuff. Brought in, Zion I, Cunning Linguists, Rock Rada, a lot of legends, J Live. Yeah, so it was an awesome night.
Shouts to you for putting me onto that, because that was amazing from when I started. And now where are we, right?
Archivists would come and film everybody. Hell yeah.
In every way, shape, and form.
Yeah, he bum rushed the set. This is kind of gets into my battle stuff. I used to battle a lot back in the day, just with freestyle battles and stuff like that. And then I started putting on my own freestyle battle events called Rent Money. So there's been 24 of those in the little segment that I did. So that's some of those flyers. And also for a couple of years, I was president of the Vancouver KOTD division. So that's some of the KOTD stuff in there too. King of the Dot, some of the battles I did with them, and just other ones that I put on and stuff. This is a little shrine to my favorite party in the world, which is Shambhala Music Festival, which goes on up in Salmo, BC. So this year was my 13th year performing there. It's just insane, there's like 7 or 8 different stages. It's right along a river. The party's 5 days long. So you got to get your party hat on. It's just amazing. So that's my little shrine to that there. And it moves into kind of a Fourth World section, which was my first rap group I was in, Fourth World Occupants. And as great memories in my life, and really some of the era of where I learned how to rap and stuff like that.
All the way to the cellar.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I did my first show, was at the Jazz Cellar. So that's kind of the Fourth World there, and then it goes into Europe. I got plane tickets and different stuff from Iceland and Sweden and England and Germany, Romania, Hungary, Austria, the different places I've gone out there and stuff. Lots of shows with Matt the Alien, and then I did a trip out there with Siphon X as well, Versus and Yan Zombie, that was really dope, and Diggs. Yeah. This side, kind of just more random ones again. This was a huge one I did with Alien out in Miami. We did the Ultra Music Festival, and we did the Winter Music Conference. See, we're on the lineup. Carl Cox and all these big house cats. There was these are all different stages, right? So that one. These are old raves. My cousin Dave, Aggro Dave, he used to put on these awesome parties back in the day. He's the one who first got me into electronic music. He started throwing jungle parties and stuff, and it was really underground. It reminded me of hip hop, but it was a lot faster.
12th Avenue style.
Yeah, so he threw parties at in underground warehouses. Sometimes it'd be a secret location the night of. He used this place called the Spanish Cultural Center a lot. There were some legendary parties there. So that's a lot of the flyers from that and stuff. That's from Under Pressure Graffiti Festival that I did out in Montreal, which every year pretty much they repaint 2 or 3 blocks of the whole city, and it's just insane. Every building's covered in graffiti, dope writers from all over the world. Yeah.
Any moments from that, for the Under Pressure Festival that you've been involved with, different writers?
I was rolling with my boy C's there, and he's a b-boy. He lives out in Brooklyn now, and he goes to school out there. He had beef with some b-boys, so they saw us walking down the street, and then they wanted to battle. It was 10 dudes. So he's like, yo, let's do this. So he starts battle topping, and I do too. I'm an old school b-boy myself. So, basically I had to battle 10 dudes on the bricks in the dirty fucking streets of Montreal. It wasn't my beef or nothing. I was like, fuck, I haven't breakdanced in a while. But it was dope. Me and C's threw down.
Yeah, it's the Archivist, y'all. Exclusively interviewing Emotionz.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
pleasure to be with you. It's been many years in the making.
Yes, sir.
And who is Emotionz?
Emotionz is a beatboxer, MC, songwriter, dancer, manager, musical type dude from Vancouver, BC. I travel around and do those things.
And history in rap. Hip hop since the mid 90s, going to NYC, Europe, and the Jazz Cellar.
Basically, my first show here in Vancouver was at the Jazz Cellar, which is in Kitsilano. And that was in 1997, I think. So yeah, since then, man, a lot of countries around the world, and kind of it started from Vancouver, you know, and since then I did hundreds of shows before I ever left Vancouver to play other places, right? Went quite a few places within BC and Canada before I went abroad and stuff like that. And still my biggest market is probably Canada too, so I'm still always traveling.
And working with DJ Quick in LA.
Yeah. I signed a deal with DreamWorks Records and got the opportunity to work with Quick out there and a couple really amazing musicians. Jesse Johnson, he was part of Morris Day in the time. And yeah, I got to kick it with, Sugar Free and just a bunch of crazy characters out there. And yeah, it was awesome. It was a great learning process too, working in big rooms and with different personalities and learning a lot about the music industry itself too.
And Naps, Fourth World, other crews, members of the collective, and then Macklemore.
Yeah. So back in the day I grew up rapping with my crew here at Fourth World, but we had our homies called Elevated Elements in Seattle, which was Macklemore's group. And we knew them through Lace Cadence, who was a close friend of my rap partner Deps's. So we all came together, actually. There was a concert in Bellingham, so we all met there. It was Far Side and Souls of Mischief. And they came out on stage and said, we're going to start a super crew together called the Mighty Python. And we were like, damn, like they're all going to posse up? And I don't think it ever happened. But we were like, well, yo, we got to do the same thing, kind of, So we possed up. It was like Elevated Elements, Fourth World, and then, a few other people, Zest Nomis in Victoria, A-Sun, a couple other people in Seattle. So yeah, it was a really cool collective, and we did that for a couple years, and that's where a lot of our rap styles, like that Northwest, kind of like that Nap style, branched from. And all of us do completely different music now, but you could still feel the Naps and that original twang and just energy and vibe in all our music still.
And then UCG and RIP, Salvation Army, NBA.
Yeah, a lot of old school crews. So we kind of just, each neighborhood had certain people who, we thought were cool or whatever, different cities or towns, so we would throw them down in like the bigger collectives, My boy BMO was in Kamloops, so we were like, okay, you're UCG, like hold down your crew over there. On the island, they were RIP crew and stuff like that. So Zest kind of took care of it out there. So yeah, it was a big collective.
And Genetics, aka Danny and Lizzie, the start to now.
Yeah, so Danny and Lizzie are my younger sisters. Super talented people. They just excel in like every art form, even aside from music. They're just crazy at building stuff and drawing and painting and sculpture and whatever, building websites, whatever. And then musically, same thing, like every genre. They've really, the last 2-3 years, came into being big songwriters opposed to just rappers or singer. And they kind of go into whatever they're working on. They've written like full country albums for artists. And, they come from a rap R&B place, so that's kind of what their music's like. And then they have contemporary songs, they have ballads, like everything. So it's really cool. And about 2 months ago now, my sister Lizzie wrote and performed a song called Dancing in the Sky, which went completely viral. And yeah, it really opened people's eyes to how much talent they have and what's going on over there. So it'll be interesting to see in the next little bit where it goes.
And then for you, what have you done with them from that? Like, you've been very heavily involved with what they're doing?
Yeah, well, I was already. There's just a lot more things to do now, So, yeah, I've always kind of been around since they were 12, 13, doing hip-hop together and learning off each other and stuff like that. Because a lot of the time, they excel in things fast. I end up learning off them, With all this, I've been on kind of, helping on the management team and just with consulting, trying to put good stuff in their ear and keeping good people around, keeping the right producers, keeping the right label people, publicists, publishing companies, managers, lawyers, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people have advice for them, so we just try to sift through it and listen to the right advice.
And then after the 1,000,000 views, meeting Tech Nine.
Yeah, that was dope. Archivist for bringing me down there and meeting up with Tech. That was sick, man. And you got the shout out for Danny and Lizzie too from him, so that was sick. Good look.
Hey, that's how I do it. Family first. And Stylist Beats from the Kush album and working with Fish Fillet. What happened?
So, yeah, Stylist, he's killing it right now, man. He just put out that new album, Rip Your Fucking Sleeves Off. And it's one of the best EDM albums I've heard, probably ever, when I think about it. I was going to say in the last few years, but it's crazy. Beginning to end, you can listen to the whole thing. They're real songs. They're made musically. It's not computer music, but at the same time, it's crazy bass, and he's got some wicked features on there. We did a song together called Maybe I'm Dreamin', which just got a video cut for it live at Shambhala and stuff like that, so you can check that out on YouTube. And big ups to Stylist, man. That's my man. One of the sickest producers, and he's living out in San Fran now, and got his studio and his home base set up there, so super excited.
And then with Fish Fillet, know about the album?
The old school one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Fish Fillet, he's a rapper from CVE, as you know, Project Blowed in LA. And he was living out in Fresno, a few years ago, so we ended up linking up online, just feeling each other's music, sending beats and stuff like that. And then, just doing pretty much, 30 or 40 songs together. So it was really cool. I got to go out to Cali, work with him there. He came to Canada a couple times, and we did shows and recorded out here, so it was really dope. And Fish was one of the rappers that influenced me with, chopping and double time stuff and just rap in general. And, AC Alone, Ab Rude, Micah 9, that whole movement of Project Blowed. So he was the first one of them that I got to work with in depth. I'd traveled with Ab Rude before and stuff like that, but we didn't make a lot of music. But with Fish, we really got to go in on some stuff, and it was sick just getting to style with some people I really looked up to.
In the future, when do you think we'll be able to hear that?
Me and Fish got some new ones cooking up, so you could come to my house and I'll show you some archives. You can hear some oldies, but for me and Fish, I think this year for sure, man. We're really gonna put out some new ones. There's not a lot of cats that both of us rap with, I think, who can keep up with each other still. We're pretty fast, and we love working together. He pushes me to do totally different shit than I would be doing, and I think the same way around. So it's a good mix.
Excellent. And DJing and Shambhala.
Yeah. So I've been DJing a long time. I used to be part of a turntablist crew, like in the 90s, I think we started. It was called Children of the Matrix. So we were based around like Transformers, and the Transformers that turned into little cassette tapes. We each had one, and we'd wear it around our chest and stuff like that. So I've been DJing for a long time, but I was never really seriously into it. I was way more into graffiti, breakdancing, and rapping, and beatboxing, and other ventures and shit, So it was always something that was there. And even before I ever touched a table, my whole life I made mixtapes that would fly, and my friends would dub them off me and shit like that. And I'd make people in school mixtapes. So I was, my mind, I was DJing for a long time, but never took it seriously. And then, the last 3-4 years, I've just got back on the decks and started spinning and started playing out, doing a couple nights. I do a soul night called Soul Food with DJ Koner, which is every second Sunday at Falconetti's on Commercial Drive. And that's really dope. We just get to play Dilla and Marvin Gaye and Curtis Mayfield and Latino music and just tight shit. And also I got into, I'm throwing a monthly down at Venue that's called Collab. So that's been really cool. Bringing out kind of big name states, rap artists or hip hop artists, and then trying to book the dopest of the local acts too,
Yeah, Souls of Mischief, monumental.
Yeah, so we had Souls of Mischief, we've had Cormega, we had Farside, we've had Smith & Wesson, we had Pharaoh Monch, M.O.P., J Live, it's been really cool. And we got some great ones coming up too, so really excited.
Excellent. And you can do all elements of the hip hop culture.
I do all elements of hip hop. Like me and my crew, now we call ourselves Sound Vibe, but it used to be Fresh Coast. But it's forever changing. We always have new people. Some people fade out, whatever, right? But the era of hip hop and the group of people in hip hop that I come from, we learned it as a language. So you had to know how to speak it. You had to know how to dance it. You had to know how to write it. You had to know how to live it. You had to know how to fucking rap it, beatbox it, produce it. So I think anything that we do has that a real hip hop vibe to it. I'm far from a master at all the things within hip hop. I actually wouldn't say I'm a master of any of them, but I am one of the rare people, I guess, around that does dabble in every part of hip hop. I still break dance. I still do graffiti. I beatbox. I DJ. I rap. I do all that stuff. And then beyond that, I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, talent development, bookings with artists and things like that too. And I dabble in production, and I'm getting more into that also.
I was just blown away when I first met you, because when I first seen all the elements that you could do, it just blew me away. That's why I said at the largest level.
Because,
yeah. From being from Vancouver, I wouldn't even see that.
Yeah, thank you.
So
basically, that's what I'm saying. It's like not trying to figure out one thing. I was like, what is this hip hop culture? What is this language? How do you live it? How do you speak it? And really put myself into it. And I think that's why a lot of it came naturally. Or like, throwing a kid in water before they can swim. Kind of like that. If you're in the middle of hip hop and you're in battles and you're in the moment and you're da-da-da, you gotta learn it quick, right? So when I was a youngin', that's how I came up. And then within that, figuring out the things I like and pursuing them.
And workshops for the youth, Epic Times, and create your own hip hop workshop.
Yeah, so I've been, same thing, those elements and that hip hop culture that I learned and the songwriting skills or dancing or whatever, I've been passing on to the youth the last few years and doing some really cool workshops. There's a theater workshop called Bold School, which has been great with kids. And me and my boy Shinji, Kian, we did some really great workshops. It was awesome. We went up to Nishka, which is at the top of BC. It's like an hour from Alaska. It was in the middle of nowhere, and got to work with just some beautiful kids up there. And, we've worked at a lot of the different schools in Vancouver and a couple different native reserves and stuff like that, and it's been awesome.
It's all about the trivia.
Yeah, I know you like the trivia on my workshop.
And challenges in the game. Do you have any stories on that one?
I say just constant motivation is a hard one. Finding new ways to want to keep doing the same thing. I've been rapping and doing music and hip hop for a long time. Sometimes a totally different life sounds pretty cool to me. You know what I mean? Like my friends who might be trying to be in the UFC and are training to be fighters and are like on crazy diets and training 8 hours a day or whatever. Like that seems kind of cool to me because it's so completely different than my songwriting, rap, DJ lifestyle, Or somebody who works a 9 to 5 even sometimes. If they love what they do or they work with kids. Some of my teacher friends, I scratch my head sometimes like, oh, that'd be such a different life, da-da-da, So I guess one of the challenges for me has been constantly trying to find new things that let me know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right path in life. I'm still affecting people. I'm still getting my message across, and I'm still going the right direction that I should be. And that's really why I like meeting new people too, and being around new energy and really new talented people and stuff like that, because I'm always getting re-motivated and, oh, I never thought of that, and damn, like, look at this, and yeah, it makes me just want to move forward.
And battles, lay some of your resume down.
Nice. Yeah, I've done like 200 battles. My record's like 201. I took one loss in the tournament or something. But yeah, I went into KOTD. I never lost in KOTD. That was really fun. It was, changing from the freestyle battles to the written stuff was pretty crazy transition. But the written seems a lot easier to me than freestyling, because you get a lot of time to prepare, who you're battling, all that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, battling it's always been a great way for me to prove myself to myself. So, a lot of times, every couple years, I've been like, yeah, I need a good battle, slay somebody and be like, yeah,
And projects involved with collabs, others?
Yeah, I'm working on a bunch of music right now with singer producer Gisto, who yeah, I love working with him. He had a couple songs on my last project, and he's gonna have a bunch on the new one too. And another producer, Alonzo Wang, who's amazing. The three of us been working on some really good new ones. Yeah, and then I can't really say nothing, but through Wandering Works, we got some big features going with that because that's what my project's coming out on. And Danny and Lizzie on some co-songwriting with me and some choruses and bridges and stuff on the album too. So, yeah.
And other projects in the past you'd let us know about. So.
Yeah, my last project was called On the Up and Up, and it's available for free download at wanderingworks.com, and that's works with X. Yeah, that one, I was really happy with that. I was trying to make, something that was banging, like really good vibes, hip-hop CD, full hip-hop, and a bit more mature than my other ones, I'd say. Try to come a little more clever. I mean, there's still party songs, and I still get ignorant on a few, but overall, the tone of it is some grown man shit,
And what is next with your sister's project? You already been one of the underdogs of Canada's hip-hop scene. They sleep in and they now need to know.
So what's next for?
Just in your projects, what's to come out in the future with the family?
Yeah, so I got my next project, like I said, coming with Wandering Works. So we'll have singles and videos coming for that soon. And I'm really excited for that. Working with some amazing musicians and, no samples. And it's my first album from the ground up, building with all instruments, all players, singers, producers, co-songwriters. Bringing my sisters on as songwriting with me too. It's the first co-songwriters that I've ever worked with on my own music. I've wrote other people's music with them, but I've never brought anybody on. So I think that'll add a lot of harmonies, structure, bridges, all that kind of stuff, because they're amazing with that. So I'm excited for that. And them, Danny and Lizzie, they just re-recorded their song Dancing in the Sky with Bob Rock. Amazing producer, and the song just sounds huge now. Strings, piano, like everything. So, that's going to drop in the next few months, and I say that's the next step for them, and then doing the video for that and so on.
And you got to witness that. Let us know about that.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy. I already, I love the song and just being around it, and then working with Bob Rock, who's been a close family friend of ours for a long time. Just amazing. Yeah, it's just full circle, I was sitting there with my dad watching his old bandmate work with his daughters, my sisters, right? So yeah, it was just crazy full circle like that.
And your latest tour with Atticus and Short?
Yeah, that one was really fun. We did a little Western Canadian zinger. Some crazy shows. It was Short's first tour too, so that's always fun, when you take the rooks on the road and show them the ropes a bit and let them loose on stage for them to rip it. We did some awesome sets, and our homie P City was with us too, and Immaculate and Ill Tone met up for some shows too, and they killed it. Yeah, so it was really fun.
And best tour and largest crowd you've ever rocked?
Largest crowd, probably I did the Saskatoon Arena. I opened for Snoop Dogg there, so I think it was 8,000 people. I've played like that Ultra Festival I was talking about, which had 50,000 or 100,000 people, but it's all spread out at different, tents or different venues or whatever. And my favorite show that I've played, you said? Or favorite tour, you said? I think my favorite tour, it's hard to say. They're all so different and they're all so awesome. But my favorite one might be my one with Matt the Alien and artist named Perfect Combination, Jimbo. It was so sick. We went through 9 countries out in Europe, drum and bass tour, and it was just crazy. We're going through Iceland and Austria and all these different random places, and it was just I'd never seen anything like that. The architecture, the different languages, the different food, the culture, and Matt and Jimbo are the coolest dudes. So that, to me, in my mind, that's one of the ones that sticks out for sure.
And any European experiences that you had when you were on tour are just life-changing?
All of it. Just castles, and I mean, Something that was really tight. Matt the Alien's family, when I was there, they asked me if I wanted to see where my family was from, because my grandparents are from England. So they drove me like 3 hours up into the mountains, and I got to see my grandma's elementary school and like the parks where she hung out and where my dad was born and different things like that. And it was with my homie's family, So that was a really like memorable thing about Europe for me. That was special.
And you have anything to add?
Big up to Sound Vibe. Big up to Elisa. Come out, check out Collab for anybody's in Vancouver. We finally got a good monthly hip hop night for the people. And yeah, for artists locally, hit me up if you want to play the night. And yeah, like I said, check out my newest project, On the Up and Up. It's on wanderingworks.com. And also check out Danny and Lizzie Dancing in the Sky on YouTube.
And your best hip hop memory you've been part of or contributed to? Or one of the three?
It's a hard thing to call. I'm really stoked that I got to kick it with Rock Rada, and that I brought him to Vancouver and stuff, and before he passed away, and I got to see that. That was really special. And another thing is a good friend of mine, BMO, Jesse Seymour, passed away about a year and a bit ago, and the memories and the sessions that I've had with him are really special now. In the moment, it was just so much pure fun and just, in the moment it almost feels like meaningless fun and just freestyling and mobbing around and doing super hip-hop ass shit. But now those are just some like super solidified good memories to me of hip-hop and learning hip-hop and stuff like that.
And you have anything to say to your fans worldwide and to America?
Yeah. My best music is coming. I've been really getting into a songwriting zone, trying to write bigger music and write in a broader perspective and just sharpening my skills. So I really feel like my best music I've ever made is about to come out real soon. Very musical, very lyrical, and me just emanating my soul through the music.
And you got any shouts?
Yeah, shout outs to the whole Sound Vibe collective. And all my people worldwide, the Flavor Blue out in Seattle, Macklemore, my man Lace Cadence, everybody in Europe, all my homies on the East Coast. Emotionz.
And shouts to Emotionz for the pre-invite of being a part of history here and just working and building with you throughout the years to where I'm at today, and Danny and Lizzie. And this is the Archivist, and you already know the name, y'all.
Yeah, and thank you, Archivist. I've seen you come up through a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? And it's been a long time, like, working together and always chatting about doing interviews and stuff. And I've seen you work your way up in the ranks and get better at what you do. So, real recognize real. Keep doing you.
Awesome. Show.